bylaw that was included in the agenda package, and I will read that bylaw. That bylaw 2025-26, being a bylaw to appoint Randy Bergsma as deputy clerk of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich, be read first, second, and third time and passed. Can I have a mover for that? Councillor Dryfoot and a second.
Also move. Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Loveland. Any discussion? Show of hands, please. Passed unanimously. Okay. Now, Deputy Clerk Randy, resolution to get us started, please.
Sure. Moved by Dryfoot, seconded by Joulard, that the meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich opens at 5:01 p.m. All in favor? That's carried.
Okay. Does anyone have a declaration of pecuniary interest? See none. The draft minutes from the March 26th meeting were included in the agenda package. Are there any errors or omissions? I see none. The minutes will be adopted as presented to council. Deputy Clerk Randy, are there any items not listed on the agenda?
No, there are no items.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now I'm going to turn the floor over to our treasurer, James. First, we need to get into an open or public meeting.
Moved by Joulard, seconded by Loveland, that the public meeting for the 2025 budget opens at 5:02 p.m. All in favor? That is carried.
Okay, thank you. I would just turn the floor over to James for your budget presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. So this is the 2025 budget. I believe there's slides that Randy will put up in just a second here.
Oh, we're sharing, and then I think I have to drag this over. There we go.
All right, so as mentioned, it's 2025 operating budget. This budget, it works along with our strategic plan that's back in 2023. The municipality put together. It's in 2026. We'll need to go through that review again with the strategic plan. Next slide. So 2025 budget represents the financial reality of where Dutton Dunwich is currently at. Council understands that any increase will further burden the taxpayer and has therefore encouraged all employees to try and find any savings that they can to help reduce that burden. As part of Council's strategic plan, we are committed to delivering excellent service by ensuring administration is connected to our community and government partners. Through discussions with council, staff, and residents, it is clear that we want to build a community that reflects the ideals of those who call Dutton Dunwich home. All Ontario municipalities are faced with similar challenges of healthcare, social, and housing issues being funded through property taxes, rather than through upper-level income taxes and consumption taxes such as HST. We continue to urge the federal and provincial governments to revisit funding mechanisms in their review of property taxes and asset management plans in order to provide relief to Ontario property taxpayers. The municipality has legislative responsibilities that must be fulfilled, much like a household that has must-pay expenses such as their rent, mortgage, and utilities. We must deal with the same economic factors that affect households, including higher interest rates, construction costs, and price increases due to inflation. Administration is presenting the draft 2025 budget with an 11.42% increase. The 2025 budget was developed by trying to balance the economic challenges of our residents and our continued significant infrastructure deficits and the impact of community growth on our existing infrastructure. So as you can see, Dutton Dunwich at a glance, we're population of about just over 4,100. The municipality employs 23 full-time, 8 to 11 part-time employees, 6 to 11 summer students, and about 26 volunteer firefighters. Next slide. The following is just a list of services that the municipality provides and that the county provides. And next. Following is our reserve balances. One note I do want to make, the recreation reserve 2024 closing balance should be 96,695.97. So it's up. It was the reserve from the surplus from the arena budget was forgotten at the time this slide was made up. It is now in there.
So that it says 81,000 here, so it should be 96.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
And then the next slide deals with the debt that the municipality currently has as of January 1st, 2025. And the next slide is our 2025 budget overview. Next slide, Randy. So the municipality is governed by provincial legislation, including but not limited to the Municipal Act and the Provincial Policy Statement. The 2025 budget is created by these regulations as well as the following documents and regulations. Some of them include the Asset Management Plan, as mentioned before, the Strategic Plan, we have our Building Code Act, our Drainage Act, Highway Traffic Act, and such other ones that are listed there. Next, all right. So this slide here shows what the current just over 11% tax rate increase will do to the municipal portion of taxes on residential average home valued at 300,000. You can see that it's going to increase taxes on just municipal by about $327 and change. And farmland valued at 675,000 will go up by about 169. And on the right side of the screen is the percentages that each department takes out of the budget.
Can I ask one question? Is that the average value of?
Roughly.
residential and property?
Roughly.
No.
Not up to date.
And then the next slide is our general overview of our administration department. You can see our 2024 budget compared to the 2024 actual, and then on the right-hand side is the 2025 budget. Just keep going through the slides here. Next department covers fire, policing, conservation authorities, bylaw, building department, and emergency management.
I did get a reprieve on the policing costs, just for the public, with $100,000, which was welcome news.
We can expect that to go up again next year. I'm expecting
It was a 1 year thing, so.
the 1 year reprieve from the province.
Next is the public works. With the vehicles and equipment, it offsets the expense that's in the municipal and county, so that's why it's shown as a negative.
Why is the county twice, cost twice as they did, in the budget?
We've, in 2024, we started actually costing out stuff to better on our end, so it's just, we're getting a better handle on what the county actually costs, so. Next. Next is our waste collection, recycling, healthcare, and cemetery services. So our medical center, that cost includes the cost of the lab as well.
Cemeteries went down so much because, again, moving numbers around. Oh. okay.
Yep, so we've contracted out the grass cutting this year. So hopefully that's going to save us some money on that. By not having staff going around and upkeeping that, we'll have companies that can do it at a better price for us. And it saves wear and tear on our equipment and
we also had an additional staff member last year until the end of April, so that would also show in that increase or decrease.
go next. Facilities and recreation.
A lot of the variance, James, is just in accounting and where your
Yeah, we're just
GLs were.
getting a better handle on where getting the staff to expense it out better. So hopefully goal is by the end of 2025, this year, is that we'll have a much better handle on it again. Like I say, in 2024 is the first year we've started really splitting costs out and getting staff to say they spent so much time at this and so much time at that. And next is our planning department, economic development, heritage, and drainage. Our planning is now contracted out to the county of Elgin.
And the drain number changes every time somebody expects a new municipal drain, and a lot of them are $300,000-400,000, and of course, we're assessed on any road benefit to it, so that can vary from year to year quite a bit. I mean, last year we had quite an accumulation, so it's a bit of an unknown.
So is this because now the culture and the heritage have been split out into two different categories? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, so the culture is basically the grant we give to Bacchus Page House.
Oh,
Council wanted it to show separate, so we've.
Yeah, I could comment on that.
Yep.
It was, the 10,000 was always shown it was money that was allocated consistently to Backus Page for probably 25 years. And it went from 5,000 to 10,000 at one point in time, but it was always allocated as a donation from council. Which in actual fact, most municipal budgets have a culture line item that we can actually adjust each year if we want to, rather than making it a donation that from council. So it actually becomes an expense, or a general funding item for the municipality. But it is something, I think this way it gives us the opportunity to look at it every year and decide if we can actually do a cultural number in our budget, so.
And then the last slide just shows the overall change in dollars. And shows you that through taxes, we will need to raise $6,105,641 to fund the presented budget for 2025.
You done?
Yeah, I guess.
I will open the floor to any questions. It is a public meeting. Anybody wish to speak to it? We're here to listen.
Can we just go back one slide?
Yep.
Well, two.
This one?
So the big increases are, Parks and Recreation and Public Works. Just, that's Public Works is roads.
Yes.
Yeah. And just any big projects this year?
Not really.
Okay, that's
No.
just,
James, you could speak to everything under that. Public Works.
Right, so they are doing, just 1 second here. Yeah, Thompson Line we're rehabilitating part of Thompson Line. And some of that will be funded through the gas tax that we get from the province, but there is $240,000 of that going to be on the tax levy. Other than that,
carbon tax off, help quit, I take it helps the township a lot.
hopefully we'll see some savings with that as far as the cost of fuel and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's.
Yeah.
It's, I'll just share with you, and Councillor Dreyfus found this out, that Chatham-Kent is not brining their roads as a budget saving cost. Things that could be considered, but for safety and health reasons. So we're gonna continue.
Yeah, your two biggest costs in public works are your brine and gravel.
So the brine is on just the paved roads
Gravel.
or all the gravel?
Gravel.
Gravel roads.
Just the gravel.
And
Brine is salt, right? So when you have a storm, you plow, but then is that the brine goes on after it? No, it's strictly salt, the gravel road.
The brine is the liquid that comes on the gravel road.
Yes,
The brine is liquid they put on the gravel roads to mitigate dust.
so it's not a wintertime one.
That's not your winter time.
So when you put liquid salt on the paved roads, so they don't skid off, is that not considered brine?
Corey, what's that
Is that
product
it?
called?
But the same thing,
It's-
it's part of it?
you
It
could
is
call it
brine.
that, but
It's
It-
still a
it's not-
similar product,
it-
it's just not what
It wouldn't be in that
they
figure.
call it a pre-treatment for the winter maintenance portion of it, it's a pre-treatment, so that. Yes, technically it's a brine, some people use a beet juice, some people use a brine, it just depends on what you're using. but it's all just pre-treatment, so it doesn't freeze as quickly
So we would use something cheap.
as, yeah, as we can.
What is the brine figure, James? Do you have that? It was 300,000, I believe.
One second.
We'll just look at some of the big items.
Oh.
That's a huge safety problem.
So yes, dust control, we're budgeting 300,000
Gravel.
and gravel. 510,000.
So the total debt at the beginning of January was 4,393,000. But I'm trying to figure out. Where would I see that number? Is that part of your 6 million money that you need to raise so that you can pay this 403?
The repayments are all throughout the different departments.
Okay, so,
So interest and principal are included in the operating budgets of each department that has debt.
and so well, when I looked at one of these, I thought, well, nothing matched. Well, yeah, oh, there you go. So if you look at the water, you're talking, yeah, that versus the other one you just clicked backwards to. I was looking to see if I could find a number here, medical building, for example, as part of the debt, to see if I could say the same number there, and I could, so.
No, so that slide there, the reserves is, there are special funds that are set up where, so like as far as, like when we operate our share of the arena, any savings in the budget versus actual is put into a reserve. Same with building department, any surplus is put into the reserve.
Alright, but this, okay, and there you were getting into the minus and the pluses again. All these numbers are bad, but if I see a minus, it's a good number. So all those red numbers are good. They're all coming money in.
Not in
No.
that case.
Well, then forget my question. If it's all buried in there, then I won't worry trying to match.
Of that debt, James, what is our repayment for 2025 out of the 4.3 million debt?
It would,
Total is
800
about,
something.
no, it's 600.
643.
Okay,
Yeah.
included in the budget is 600 some thousand,
And you divide that by 12 and you pay so much a month?
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
and that's carrying the debt of 4.3 million.
So that 600,000 plus number includes principal and interest.
Right, so if we didn't pay any of this down, the 11% up is really to try and pay some of this debt, or is it trying to improve different services?
It's like, we're not making any extra payments on the debt. We're making our monthly payments that they want. One thing we did look at in this year's budget is we put 100,000 in a working reserve that council may wish to put on debt.
Right, and so that would have been pulled from some of the different things.
Yeah, so that would be in the administrative part.
Okay, right,
So included in there is $100,000 transfer to reserve expense.
okay, thanks, yeah, there it is. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine.
essentially, for the 640,000 in interest in principal payments, every 50,000 represents 1 point, I believe. So you're 1% of your total budget. So we're 11.52, I believe, is what the final number was. You're looking at a fairly substantial amount of our municipal budget is debt repayment. And it represents, we've discussed this in our our committee, that it is the single most thing that is hurting our municipality is our debt rate, the debt to ratio level of you know, versus our revenue at the end of the day. So it's something that we'll have to figure out as council, how we can assess the whole situation going forward. By reducing the percentage, we even toyed with reducing the tax levy to the point where we had no reserves, but we would have no money to do any working capital at all. Like we would have no money to repair roads or to repair streets or to begin to build that capital, right? So we're in a catch-22 for sure. And it's a difficult situation to be in. And in fact, probably most businesses would be bankrupt at this point. So, but because we can take it from the taxpayer, that's our only option. So I hate to say it that way, but that's the truth. So
And I wish more people in Dutton Dunwich would pay attention to budget, like, don't complain so much. Anyway, I'm done.
It's a tough pill to swallow. But part of the tax levy is we recognize that we have to build some reserves and lower our debt. So 11.4 or whatever is, nobody around this table wants that. But reality is finally sunk in. One saving thing here is the county's coming in at 1.4. So your total tax levy, because of the county, will be 6.3, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the county is bailing us out somewhat this year. They're in a different financial situation than we are. They have reserves. Elgin County has been well run for many, many years.
So the difference between heritage and culture, culture is it technically is the same thing and probably should fall under the same category eventually. Heritage is reflected through the Heritage and Designation Committee, and I believe that's what that number comes from, James, if I'm not mistaken. And then the culture was the line item that we added this year to represent funding an organization like Bacchus Page. I believe that's the values that we represent in the budget. So the two is the Heritage Designating Committee, and then there's the culture. And I agree, we should probably at some point in time look at putting the two together and working on the same budget.
Okay, any other questions? Not exactly. Want to take a stab at that?
I would say, so the question is, so heritage, arts, entertainment, culture all fall under the same category. I would probably agree with that statement, but we haven't got it set up that way. It's something we should probably look at.
Somewhere together. That, they do all belong together.
I hope that answers your question.
I think a lot of that falls under what James was talking about earlier as well. As we're moving forward, we're trying to break out these things so we understand the costs better. So as much as they are grouped together kind of right now, we're trying to break them apart so we can understand where our spending is and where we may be able to save in the future. So we are breaking them out. So right now they are kind of clumped together, but we are breaking them out so we understand the costs better.
Okay. Anything further? Okay, I think we can move on. Deputy Clerk Randy, we have a resolution.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Pemberton, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich approves the 2025 operational budget as presented, and that council approved tax revenue in the amount of $6,105,641. All in favor? And that is carried.
Thank you. And we will close the public meeting.
Moved by the Dreyfus, seconded by Drewler, that the public meeting for the 2025 budget closes at 5:31 p.m. All in favor? And that is carried.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to correspondence. The first item is from Prince Edward, Lennox and Addington Social Services. Everyone had a chance to read that. Is there anyone wish to speak to that item of correspondence? I see nothing. Deputy Clerk Randy, please.
Moved by Pemberton, seconded by Dreyfus, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution from the Prince Edward, Lennox and Addington Social Services Committee calling on the provincial government to urgently increase Ontario Works rates to match the ODSP rate increases and to commit to, sorry, I have to expand that. Commit to the ongoing cost of living increases above and beyond the rate of inflation, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Karen Vecchio, MP, and the Prince Edward, Lennox and Addington Social Services Committee. All in favor? And that is carried.
Okay, thank you. And item B is the Township of Central Frontenac US tariff response. Everybody's commenting on this. Anything from council? Deputy Clerk Randy, please.
Sure. Sorry, moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution from the Township of Central Frontenac to purchase Canadian-made products wherever feasible and when not in violation of trade agreements and legislation in all of its purchasing decisions, including increasing current invitational and open market thresholds in the procurement bylaw to enable targeted purchases from Canadian suppliers, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Karen Vecchio, MP, and the Township of Frontenac. All in favor? That is carried.
Thank you. Item C, the Town of Tillsonburg, strong mayor powers. This is getting a lot of press lately, and the former wardens met a week or so ago, and they came out with a strong statement on that against it. So anyone wish to comment on this piece of correspondence? Okay, Randy, please.
Moved by Dreward, seconded by Pemberton, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution from the Town of Tillsonburg requesting that the provincial strong mayor powers proposed to take effect on May 1st, 2025 be deferred to allow for greater clarity, and that the province seek collaborative input from the Association of Municipal Managers, Clerks and Treasurers of Ontario, AMCTO, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Karen Vecchio, MP, and the Township of Tillsonburg. All in favor? That is carried.
Okay. On to the consent agenda. And
Oh, there's one more there, yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Moved by Pemberton, seconded by Dreyfus, that relevant correspondence was reviewed. All in favor? That is carried.
Okay, now we can move on to the consent agenda. There is a number of items. We'll start with the baseball diamond update. And I understand you have further information above and beyond what was included in the agenda package. Is that correct? Mary Jo, go ahead. You have the floor.
Sure, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so as far as the event for the watch party, we've been in contact with the Lions Club, so we're hoping to have it actually right under the Lions Den. And it sounds like they're gonna open the food booth and we're gonna be able to have some activities on the diamonds because they got the diamonds open today and actually the high school team was on it, so it's in good shape, so we can use the diamond to have some fun baseball activities. And I think CTV is gonna be coming. I'm working on like a Rogers Global contact as well. So yeah, it should be pretty good event. Yeah.
I have a question. This is the Blue Jays Foundation. And how do you, it's not like we had at the arena where you call in, does it work similar to that? Or how do you win this thing?
I don't know for sure. I know it's all merit based on our application.
Okay,
So they pick a whole bunch of communities around the whole country and it depends on how much they have to give out. So I think last year they gave out $2 million to, I think, 16 communities. So it's anywhere from 100,000 to 20 grand. So we applied for 55, just under 55,000, which was the remaining of what we needed for this diamond. So yeah, so my understanding is, they probably maybe already know. So I have a really good feeling that they've let us know that we're one of the finalists, but nothing until we see that on the TV and see the Dutton, we won't know for sure. So.
okay. Councillor Drulard.
I just wanted to commend the work that this group has done. They were instrumental in introducing new programming that was supported by the Blue Jays Cares Foundation. And I am confident that that is how they got into the finals. We have Girls at Bat that's at the public school that's supported by the Jays Cares Foundation. And we also have a summer program that I was invited to be a part of. I don't know why the name has escaped me. Give it to me.
The Challenger baseball.
The Challenger
Yeah.
baseball. So we participated in it last year and I think we built through the whole season. And we ended up with over 20 participants in that, and that also increased our opportunities. So, and it's because of the backbone that happens here. So I just want to commend you both and your committees for the work that you've done in our community.
I think other than just having the support and having some people there and then getting the word out, if we are successful, we know that they want to have a big recognition event. And it might be through our Challenger baseball program because we were approved to continue that for this coming season. So once the diamond is done, which will be sometime into 2026, they want to have an event. They also said that having a diamond that they had partially, if they partially fund it, this will open up other training and skills opportunities that would be open for anyone to attend, because they do a lot of skills in different communities as well. So there might be some future recognition events if we're successful that they want to have some representation there from the municipality, since you guys obviously are the landowners as well. So but once if we're successful, once we get a contract and whatnot, then we'll have to talk to whomever through Charlotte to sort all that out if we go that far in the process. But right now we're looking to just have the event and have some support and share the good news that we've got this far, since it's our third or fourth time applying. So, yeah. Yeah.
So it's important to have representation from council on the 4th.
Yes, we would love that. Yeah, to have
Okay.
someone say just a few words, leading up and encouragement. And then if we're successful, I hope that leads to some media interviews immediately following, because
Okay.
they want to videotape our reaction and then talk to some folks after. So probably something like that.
Okay. Are you able to attend, Councillor Dreyfus? Okay, I think you've been closer to all of this than, anyway, I will be there.
No, I'd love to participate and love to be attend, and I think you have all of our support for sure. This is just on a side note here, this is a amazing example of people in the community coming together and not complaining about specifics, about poor diamonds or about poor facilities. A group of people got together. I remember that very first meeting, and there was sort of skepticism about whether we could, you could accomplish the objective. And I remember the conversation being is like, dream big, shoot for the stars, and let's get this thing done and move forward. And you haven't held back at all. And I think we should be very proud of your efforts. I know we've had a part of this as council or as a community through our commitment to seeing that, there were some funds provided, but nothing to the extent that you guys have done. You've raised over $200,000 and have gone through this process. So amazing work. And we have another need in the community as well, and that's the Daffodil Auxiliary, and we're looking to build a new facility for them because they're in desperate need of it. And I'm hoping that we can stimulate the community in the same way because it's vital to our community. So thank you guys for all you've done because you've made our life easy. So
I don't think we're busy.
Oh, Mary Jo, you're very good at this. You were instrumental in Craft Hockeyville. And this, so Councillor Dreyfus, you need to recruit her on your daffodil thing. Okay. It is municipally owned, ball diamonds and everything, but you've done a lot of work for us, so thank you very much.
We're thankful for the partnership and for the community and for everyone that's contributed and helped and sought through. That's the only way it got done. So
Okay.
we're thankful to everybody. So thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming. Okay, number 2, the Dutton Dunwich Economic Development Committee March 24th newsletter. Anyone wish to speak to that? No. Elgin County from council chambers, their March 25th meeting. The Elgin Primary Water System 2024 Compliance Report. The Ontario Clean Water Agency 2024 Annual Summary Report of the Dutton Dunwich Distribution System. It's all been good news there. Western Ontario Wardens Caucus March 2025 newsletter. Speak to that, and the LTVCA spring newsletter.
I'd like to speak to that for just
Go
a
ahead,
minute.
Deputy Mayor.
I know it's kind of a bad time for farmers, and the Conservation Authority, Lower Thames is having some breakfast meetings the next couple of days, but I just wanted to make sure that council was aware that they're starting to open the funds up for their program they've got for phosphorus reduction. And I don't know I hope it's got out to all the farmers, but they have some pretty good money available there for planting cover crops and also even no-till. So I hope that a lot of the area farmers take advantage of that.
I don't know whether you know or not, we haven't heard anything about the tree orders yet. Has there been a schedule on that?
I'm not aware, it wasn't mentioned at the last meeting of Lower Thames, but I'm sure they're working
Soon.
on that. It'll be coming out soon.
Item B, committee reports, there are none. And I'm gonna just go down through the staff monthly reports. Manager of Roads and Facilities, anyone wish to speak to that one? The Water Operations Report? Good. The Wastewater Report? Always a comment on that one. I'll just, so it's in public. The wastewater treatment plant operated at 112% of design capacity during March. And that's what we're up against. March is generally a wetter month, but the monthly building activity report. Oh, sorry. Did you wish to speak to the?
The wastewater, Mr. Mayor, just for the public, I would, appreciate if, Dylan could come and give a report on what they're actively doing so that the community has something that they can see that's being done, because when we drop these things and then we don't report on it, the community is very concerned that we're hiding something, and we're not. But I would like to ask that Dylan comes or sends us some sort of update that we can present to the community on what the steps we're taking at this time.
I haven't got my mic on. And the order of business was to, in the short term, what could they see or do to give us a bit of added capacity? And I'm quite sure they're working on that, but I don't know for sure.
Right, and I'm aware of that as well, but we haven't gotten that information out to the public. So I appreciate that. The CAO will get that out to the public. Thank you.
We'll get that done. Anything further on wastewater? Go ahead, Councillor Drive.
I'll just add to that comment from Councillor Drulard is it's not only the general public that we're concerned about, and I know we've had discussion with some of the developers already, and that's ongoing. So I think the public should be aware that there has been discussions with developers. And I think along with that report, and this is all when our CAO comes back, obviously, and I'm not forcing the issue here, but some kind of timeline or objective where it's hard to meet exact timelines, but objectives, because we have developers that have a lot of money at stake here, and it's not pretty. So I feel for them, and I'm in conversations with them. So I think there's a lot at stake here that we need to keep them in the loop of what's going on. I think we're all aware of that, but I just think we need to publicly, at some point come to conclusions. So thank you.
I'm sorry, that just reminded me of one more thing. At one point, we had spoke about public education, about perhaps some septic being run into our wastewater treatment facility. So we're treating rainwater. And it's not because we're trying to go out and catch people, but it's public education. And sometimes when people know, gosh, we're part of the problem, sometimes they will fix it on their own, or they'll ask us for help. And so I think we did talk about that, but there hasn't been any follow-up on that information as well. And so perhaps we can add that to our list of things that we can report on.
I believe our clerk was looking into that.
I believe so. I believe she was looking into inserts that would go out with the water tax bills. Yeah.
So we will follow up on that one and get some information out.
Thank you.
Anything further on the wastewater? I know our CAO has spoken with developers too, and they're asking, and he's working with them. And what could we do right now? The developers, you're right, Councillor, they just want to know. So I know he's spoken to a number of them, and we'll have that conversation as soon as he gets back next week.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to note that there was, they were appreciative that we're going to give an update. That one of our,
Okay. Monthly building activity report. Any comments on that? There's still stuff happening. Okay. The fire chief's monthly report. Nothing on that. The drainage superintendent monthly report. Okay with that. The recreation monthly report. Councillor Drew.
yeah, just a bit of a shout out to Charlotte. Her and her team did a really great job on the community kindness event. I think that Councillor Dreyfus did mention it last time, and the diamonds in the park look fantastic. We had our Easter egg hunt there last weekend before, and we tried to make sure we didn't get anywhere on the infield with the kids, but yeah, everything looks fantastic at the park. Appreciate that.
Any comments on that? Okay, seeing none. Go ahead, Randy.
Moved by Drulard, seconded by Loveland, that items on the consent agenda be approved. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, we have a request for heritage designation at 199 Curry Road. All of the information and the background work was in the agenda package. Councillor Dreyfus, do you wish to speak to this?
I won't get into all the details, but primarily the building the Heritage Committee is looking at designating is this building right here and what it represents and its historical significance to the community. Namely the story and the builder himself, who was the architect of the building, is significant in Elgin County. So I think those are the two principal key elements that we wish to tell this, the Heritage Committee wishes to tell the story of. So in a nutshell, that's what we're looking at, and all the history is included in the package, which is actually quite interesting. So if anybody wants to take the time, please have a read, and you'll learn more about this particular building and why it was built. Actually, it was as a memorial to World War I soldiers. So that's very significant, we believe, and it should be preserved in that way. So.
And Blair Ferguson is a great source of that information. And my understanding is that the government handed out money for cenotaphs, this type of thing, or you could put a building up. And that was the route that was taken here. And there's been a lot of work in the last couple of years to maintain this building. We think it's important. We've windows, we've pointed all of the bricks, we put a new roof on it. We've renovated the inside, and it is the centerpiece of Dutton Dunwich. So move forward to that one. Any other comments or questions from council? Randy, please.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Pemberton, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the Deputy Clerk titled Request for Heritage Designation of 199 Curry Road, dated April 23rd, 2025 for information, and that notice be given under the provisions of Section 29 of the Ontario Heritage Act, RSO 1990, CO 18, of Municipal Council's intent to designate property located at 199 Curry Road to be of cultural heritage value or interest. All in favor? That is carried.
Thank you. Any unfinished business? Go ahead, Councilor Duran.
Hi, thank you. Just one announcement. This weekend, I am happy again to be a part of our community-wide team up to clean up. You don't need to be a part of a team. I have the pleasure of working with service clubs, both the Optimist and the Lions Club, to bring people together to clean up our community. We give out prizes, and the Lions Club and Foodland feeds everyone. So, and everyone is welcome. The Optimist Club will provide you with kits to clean up. There's cash prizes. There's lots of prizes. So lots of reason to come out. It's 9 to 2 on Saturday. So would really appreciate if for anyone to join us. We have about 50 people signed up at this time. So, and usually we get a few more in the last couple of days. So thank you.
I will commit to Curry Road from Lakeview to Wallacestown, which I generally do.
I'll sign you up.
Okay, thank you.
You can get your gloves and bags at the community center or at the Lions Den.
Deputy Mayor Loveland.
Just one little quick announcement as well. Our new cenotaph is supposed to be landing in tomorrow. So finally, it was supposed to be here for Remembrance Day last year and got tied up in the strike. But that's the last we heard was coming tomorrow, just so people are aware.
At 11 a.m. Or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
okay. And there was another community-driven fundraising thing that done. Terrific work. Blair Ferguson, Delaney Leach, and nameless others, but they took it upon themselves, raised the money, and we now have a cenotaph for the whole community to be proud of, much like the work that the baseball people did. So rather than wait for government to do something, people just get out and do it. Because I always say government at any level moves at glacial speed. Okay, any other announcements? Item 14, confirm proceedings.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Drouillard, that bylaw number 2025-27, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Municipal Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich, be read a first, second, and third time and passed. All in favor? And that is carried.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to take a minute and recognize we put more on Randy's plate. And the meeting went off like a well-oiled machine, Randy. So thank you very much. And it goes back to the mentoring, the training from Clerk Tara has provided to Randy, and your participation in the last number of meetings got us to a point where this is a positive thing. We have a young person that stepped up and accepted more responsibility in our municipality, so thank you very much. Future meetings are before you there, and Deputy Clerk Randy.
Moved by Drulard, seconded by Loveland, that the meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich closes at 6 p.m. All in favor? And that is carried.
And I also want to comment on James' work on the budget. He went from frying pan right into the fire. Budget was not complete. And we had a change in staff here, and he picked up the pieces and working with the committee, brought the budget together. And I know we've had some long days, James, but thank you for your efforts. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, and thanks for attending.